Hello and welcome, learners. This is Mr. Francis with music today. I hope you are all fine. As for me, actually, I'm also fine. All right, let's move on to our today's lesson in music. We are still in the topic, the stuff, as you can see here. So just want to continue from where we stopped last time, in which we are, learning about what is a staff and how to draw a staff. Today, our lesson will talk about the types of staves. 1, staff. 2, staves. So staff, that's singular. Staves, plural. So here, our lesson today is types of staves. All right. We have 3 types of staves. We have 3 types of staves, and mainly these ones are the main ones. We have 3 main types of staves, and these are 1, treble stuff, 2, bass stuff, 3, grand stuff. These are the main types of staves that we have in music. And remember, a staff, what a staff is a piece of paper with horizontal lines on which you write musical notes. So we have got 3 types, main types for that matter, of staves. So I've just mentioned them. 1 is treble stuff, 2, bass stuff, 3, grand stuff. So let's look at each of the types of the staves that we've so far mentioned. But before that, there's something else that you need to know before we begin to look into each of these ones. That's now the symbols to know. The symbols to know. These symbols here mainly. These are what we call clefs. They are clefs. This one, the one which is on top, is treble clef. So you see, that's how it is written. Some time back, it was called a G clef. The treble clef is also known as the G clef, but this word G clef was commonly used, some time back. These days, we just say treble clef. Now, it was known to be the G clef for 2 reasons. 1, here, as you can see here, it looks like G here. You see? But now they just exaggerated this part so that it should look something musical. But simply put, this is a letter G here. That's the reason number 1. It appears like G, the letter G. The second reason why this one was also called the G clef is because on the staff, it is written or it is drawn on the line of G, or on the G note. So that's why this one was also called the G clef. But these days it's commonly called the treble clef. As you can see, treble clef. The one down or below here, it's like the name is the bass clef, as you can see here, bass clef. Or it was commonly called, that's some time back, it was commonly called the F clef, for 2 reasons as well. The first reason is, as you can see here, these dots here are the lines that make the F. So we've got this vertical line, and these were lines that made the F. But instead of making the full line, they just put some dots here so that this should appear to be musical. So that's the first reason why it was also called the F clef. It looks like an F. The second reason why it was called an F clef is because it is drawn on the F line of the staff. So the line on which it is drawn on the staff, that's a note of F. So for these two reasons, that's why it was called an F clef or a bass clef. So these are the symbols that you have to know. You have to know these symbols, the clefs, right? We have got the treble clef and we've got the bass clef. So don't get confused here. It's the treble clef, which is on top here, and the bass clef. The reason why I introduced this to you is like as we'll be going deeper to discover or to know the types of staves, we are going to come across these symbols. So better for you to know them before we come to that that time of which we'll be discussing about the types of staves. All right, now let's now move on with something also that we have to know before we dive in actually into each one of the types of staves that so far we discussed. There's also this thing that you have to know. This is a blank staff. As you can see, the word itself says it all. Blank. Blank means there's nothing written on it here. There's nothing completely. So it's a staff, but it's blank. And when you say it's blank, it means you can never say, or you can never tell that this one is a treble staff or this one is a bass clef or what. No, you can't say so because it's just blank. Here, the way it is here, just say if someone else asks you what can this be, the simple and straightforward answer can be this is just a blank staff. So as I said already last time, a staff is made up of 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 lines and 4 spaces. Remember, we've got space 1 here, space 2 here, space 3 here, and space 4. So this is a staff, but it's a blank staff. Now let's now go on to the types of staves so far that I introduced to you. Let's move on to the treble staff. If you want to draw a treble staff, it's just simple. All you have to do is have your blank staff the way it is here. This is a blank staff. Just put a treble clef here. If you put a treble clef on a blank staff, you make that staff to be a treble staff like this. As you can see here, I have my 5 lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and automatically I have 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. By putting this treble clef here on this blank staff, a blank staff, yes, I have created what is called the treble staff. You see, so the name treble staff is like we have got the treble clef here on a staff. So a treble clef on a staff makes us or gives us what we call a treble staff. So this is a treble staff. Once more, to make a treble staff, just put a treble clef on a blank staff. You see, so this is just a blank staff, but now we put this treble clef, and then in the end we have created the treble staff. Remember, this is the treble clef. We put it on the staff. The combination of the treble clef and the blank staff, the blank staff gives us the treble staff. Let's move on to another kind or another type of staff. There we are. This is now a bass staff. A bass staff. How do we make a bass staff? Simple. To make a bass staff, just put a bass clef on a blank staff. Here, remember, this one is a bass clef. See, it's on a bass clef with these dots. We put this bass clef on this staff. When we do that, we have made for ourselves a bass staff. So here is the bass staff. So as you can see here, the difference between a treble staff, which is this one, and a bass staff, which is this, is just the symbols, the treble clef and the bass clef. For the lines, they're just the same 5 lines and the same 4 spaces. The only difference is the clefs. One has got the treble clef, the other one has got the bass clef. Let's move on to the third type of staves, which also happen to be the last in our today's lesson. This one now is a grand staff. Right, so here we are. To make a grand staff, it's just so simple. Just combine the treble staff and the bass staff. Simple. You combine the bass staff and the treble staff. As you can see here, it's just one thing here, right? On top here we've got this treble staff, this one. Down here you have got the bass staff. So here it means we've just connected these staffs with this line going down here, and of course this one too. This line from from top to bottom is called a brace line. So this is the line that combines the the treble staff, which is here, and the bass staff. This all here is not supposed to be here. It's just a typing error. Forget about this. But here is the bass staff. This part, forget about this. All stuff is not correct. All right. Now the thing is, if you do this, you have created or you have made a grand staff. So simply put, a grand staff is made by combining the treble staff and the bass staff. So that's that. I hope it's quite clear. If you haven't understood, just replay the video once more and pay close attention, and now you understand what is actually there. Now it's high time that now I have to give you an exercise. I will not give you much to do. Just draw me a grand staff and send it to me on EduPage. That's your exercise. Well, with that, we have come to an end of our lesson today. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.